Art is too important not to share. Welcome to the Allie and Callie Artcast.
Hi, I'm Allie.
And I'm Callie, and we're with the Coeur d'Alene Arts and Culture Alliance. Hello, everyone.
Hello, everybody,
Yay.
and welcome to the Allie and Callie Artcast.
Yes, we're
Yay.
doing it a little different today, so excited
I know, we're on Zoom
with our guests.
Yeah,
That we'll introduce in a minute.
in a minute, but
yeah.
What's going on? Are you finally acclimated from being back from Italy?
It's taken a while. I think I've been back about a week, and I'm still I still wake up at 2 a.m, and then I go back to sleep. But
oh yeah,
and we've got my son's dog.
I do that every day, and I didn't go to Italy.
I know, it's horrible. I hate it, but I'm getting better, and we started rehearsals for Singing in the Rain.
Oh, nice.
That I'm directing with my friend Jen Kleinkopf, and that'll open in August with Aspire Community Theater. And that was fun. We had our first read through last night, so that'll be really fun. I'm
Yay.
a little trying not to get full of anxiety over that. But,
good idea.
You know, it's a big show. You know, you got to make rain on stage.
Right.
Yeah, without ruining the stage.
Yeah.
It's a challenge. So anyway, what about you?
How do you do that?
Well, it's going to be magic.
Magic. I love magic. It's like they say in Shakespeare's in Love.
Yeah.
It's a mystery.
It's a mystery.
Yeah.
Yes. It's a mystery. Yeah. So we're going to do it because the last time Singing in the Rain was done there, they ruined the stage and cost $7,000.
Oh no.
Actually more than that, because the wood on the croc stage is from Italy.
It's Italian wood.
It is Italian wood. Is that crazy? Back to Italy.
You guys can have a conversation.
No.
Hello, Floor.
Hello, Floor.
I went to Italy.
I walked on your grounds. Anyway, and what about you?
Oh, I had the highlight of my season yesterday.
Yeah.
When I got to see the new concert trailer that is all ready.
It's ready
beautiful.
To go.
It's green now.
It's
a little shorter.
I love it. I saw it and I couldn't believe it was the same trailer.
Yeah.
It's like from Ugly Duckling to
Beautiful Swan.
Beautiful green swan.
It's like punk rock. It's so cool.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
Yeah. It looks like
we had a trailer that was an old horse trailer, and it was rusty. It was that rusty red color, and
it had fiberglass top
that was all moldy.
Yeah, not good.
Yeah, and now it's clean and gorgeous, and
yeah, it looks great.
Yeah. Anyway,
so check us out at the Riverstone Concert Series.
Exactly.
Starting soon.
Right.
I don't. July
6th.
6th is the first concert.
You bet.
6 to 8.
And our guest today, one of these days, I'm going to get him and his band up here to play for us.
Now that would be cool.
Yep.
So who is our guest today, Allie?
So our guest today is Andrew Boyd.
Oh.
He just happens to be my nephew.
What?
And I'm really proud of him. He is a audio engineer, producer in Los Angeles. So thanks, Andrew, for being here.
Oh, thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, welcome.
I'm excited to hear more about what you do.
Yeah, I'm excited to talk more about what I do because I still am trying to figure it out.
So tell me about your background. I know Allie probably knows all about your background, but how did your adventure start in music?
Well, it started when I was pretty young. My mom just put me into like music classes like as a kid. I forgot what they were called. It was some like acronym for like starting music at an early age, but basically the lady told my mom to never not let me play a musical instrument. Even like from 2 years old. She was like, yeah, he needs to keep playing. Yeah. So I don't know. I was just probably just beating on random things like xylophones or whatever, and they were like, who knows, they could have just been blowing smoke. But yeah, so it started when I was pretty young, doing like piano lessons up until like I think 7th or 8th grade or something like that. And then I anything my parents made me do, I just hated. And yeah, which seems to be a theme. And but I'm glad I got away from the piano because I was like, oh, this is annoying. I have to do piano lessons. But I'm grateful for that. Then in high school, I picked up a bass guitar, and that's kind of where my actual like love for music started, and just like starting a band in high school and kind of going from there, and then going to college just because my parents wanted me to just go to college and doing music. I was at Virginia Tech, and I had no interest in what I was doing at Virginia Tech. Was just missing class because I would be up late just working on music in my dorm room, and eventually just stopped going to Virginia Tech. And my friend at the time was going to a 5-week summer camp at Berklee College of Music, and that's where I'd first heard of Berklee. And I was like, hey, I like music now. Maybe I'll just try to see if I can get in there, or I don't really know what else I'm going to do. So I ended up applying, auditioning, and getting in, and was able to make it through the whole program and graduate with a bachelor's of music in music production and engineering. And through that program, they did a trip to LA where we could visit a bunch of studios and just get a bunch of contacts. And one of the studios we visited was Interscope Records. And as soon as I finished school, at the urging of my father to find a job after school, uh, I I basically just emailed every single one of those contacts that I met in LA, and the manager at Interscope responded in literally 2 minutes and said, "Do you live in LA? Do you have a car? When can you start?"
Oh, that's
Oh,
awesome.
yeah. I was just like, oh, dang, I guess I gotta actually consider this.
Yeah.
But and yeah, so basically at that point I just knew I had to move to LA because they wouldn't give me a job unless I actually lived there. And yeah, my dad was kind of upset about that. He's like, what do you mean what do you mean they can't give you a job? Like when I get a job, I know months beforehand. And I'm like, well, it doesn't really work like that. I just gotta
Yeah.
Right.
be there. And yeah, moved out to LA and had my second interview with Interscope, and they were like, "Yeah, we'll call you if we have work." And 4 days later, they were like, "Hey, can you come in?" And the rest is history.
That's
Right.
great. So
And
how
you're
long?
still working for them, right?
No, so I actually don't work for Interscope anymore as of like a year ago, I think. Basically, I was with them for like 6.5 years, and the goal of working at a studio is kind of to just find like get work while you can and then find kind of your exit strategy. And over the years and through COVID and all that stuff, there had been like studios that had been shut down and studios we reopened, and so many changes that happened over the years. And last I think it was, yeah, 2 years ago now, like right when the most recent studio was opened, I was put on the Kendrick Lamar project. And from there I started getting work elsewhere through people who were connected to him, and that's kind of what helped me get some work after that project ended, because I was already, there had been so many changes and so many things that I had gone through there that I was kind of looking for a way out at that point. And once like I did not expect that project to be coming into that brand new studio, because he's Kendrick Lamar. He can go to any studio he wants on the planet. So the last thing I thought was, oh, why would he want to come to this studio? But he did, and that's what kept me around there until that project was done. And as soon as that project was done, I had other work that was asking me to come to them. So the timing was pretty perfect for all that stuff.
So
Yeah.
now you're kind of independent. They call
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, I'm just like a freelance contractor.
Mhm.
Oh, that's so cool.
Hmm.
To be in demand.
Right.
That's
What was it
awesome.
like working with Kendrick Lamar?
It was really cool. He's honestly one of like the nicest people I've ever worked with. After working with so many people over the years, like it was, I guess it makes sense like how nice he is, and like just like how much of a genius he is, obviously, with all the accolades and stuff that he has. But
Mhm.
yeah, it was like it was just really easy working with him, and cool to like see the whole process and like see how he does it. And after being working with so many people like who aren't really like anybody that most people would know, like, and they like a lot of people who don't have as much exposure as someone like Kendrick Lamar will be a little more like rowdy and like aren't as like respectful, I guess is the word. They think they're on top of the world and like, but then someone like Kendrick Lamar is like the nicest person ever and like so chill and
Right.
like it makes sense. Like yeah, greatness goes all the way to being a good person.
Right. That's cool.
It's nice
Yeah.
to hear.
Yeah.
Well, tell us a little bit about a typical day of working.
It's a little different these days. I kind of just I work for a company called TDE, Top Dog Entertainment right now, and they're a record label that Kendrick used to be on, but this most recent album was the last album he needed to fulfill his contract. So once that was over, he has his own company now and is doing his own thing, which makes sense. But yeah, so basically TDE, I started working for TDE and I basically do a bunch of mixing for them as well as recording for some of their artists. Like this guy Absol is this artist that I was working with for a while, and that was my first major label or major. He's independent on TDE, but it was my first major project that I was kind of like overseeing and mixed the entire thing and recorded most of it. And he's been on tour and he had twins recently, so he's been kind of AWOL. Ever since then, TDE kind of just sends me songs to mix and get ready for release kind of thing. Yeah, and so I do most of that out of this studio here. So I come here most days, but sometimes I have to go to the TDE studios if they need me out there for something.
Right. Because sometimes, well, I know that there's a couple of songs that you've produced that you actually recorded also, right?
Yeah, a lot of songs that I record. Well, these days, a lot of songs that I record, I'll also like do mixing for and stuff like that, or add production elements to it if they need me to. But yeah, kind of nowadays, you kind of have to be able to do a little bit of everything because they'll just go to someone else who can do it if you can't. So
Oh, sure.
it helps a lot nowadays to be able to do it all. So
Right.
and yeah, technology has helped a lot with that and the advancement of technology.
Didn't you play like the bass or song that's going to be used for the Pixar movie?
Oh yeah, the Bakar song. Yeah, Hell and Back. Yeah,
Helen.
I played bass for that. That was almost 4 years. Yeah, I think it was 4 years. I think it came out in 2019, like late summer 2019. That song came out, and this past April it went platinum. Yeah, I think being in the Pixar movie definitely helped with that. Which came out this past week. I
I
haven't.
gotta go see it.
What's the name of it?
Helen Back?
Helen Back.
Oh yeah, that's the name of the song. And apparently the Pixar movie kind of flopped.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've been seeing some articles saying that it's like one of Pixar's worst opening weekends
Oh,
for a
dang.
movie.
Worst movie with the best song.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was interesting because the guys who also worked on it, the guys from Beach Noise, this is their studio, Beach Noise Studios, or we call it Sweatshop because it's where we come to get a lot of work done. This is their studio, and they just gave me a room here to like be able to work on stuff, and so that way I could be around to do stuff for them too. So the song this week had just reached like 300 million plays on Spotify alone. And after the day after the movie came out, it jumped up like 5 million plays.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
wow.
hopefully I think if the song's in the movie, then all the songwriters get their name in the credits.
Yeah.
Right.
So hopefully I'll see my name in the credits if I ever go see the movie. But
Well, I'm gonna go see the movie, so
Yeah.
I'll let you know I'll be looking.
good.
I have a friend who he actually won a Grammy with. He wrote lyrics and Daylight for do you know Sam I know this is weird. It's like, hey, do you know this person? But you never know. It could
Yeah.
be.
Yeah.
His
Small
name
world.
is it's so funny. Sam Martin. And he has worked with Kendrick Lamar, and he's worked with Maroon 5 and all these people, but he won a Grammy, and he had a song in Stork, and it was with Kendrick Lamar, and he was nominated for a Grammy.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know if I know that name sounds familiar, but
He's also a
Does
singer
it?
too, but
oh, really?
yeah, he's a singer. He's bald, super bald, and
So is he an artist or
yeah,
is he? Oh,
he
okay.
does both. He does
And-
both, but he's mostly an artist. Sam
Sam
Martin.
Is that his artist name too, or does he have a different artist name?
He's SAMM Martin is his artist name.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Oh,
Anyway, that's just a weird thing. I just thought it,
Right.
you know, you never know. They'd be like, oh yeah, he lives right next door. You know?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
But no,
It's a small world.
you never know. But
Right. But
anyway,
LA is a big city.
it is a big city, but
It's
just
a big city, but it's a small town.
yeah,
Yeah, right.
exactly. And I know how hard he has worked to get. I mean, he's been in the business a long time, and then recording his own stuff, and then he goes over in Europe. He's big in weird countries
Oh,
where you're
wow.
like, wow, he's like sells out stadiums. It's
Uh-huh.
really
Yeah.
bizarre. But
Right.
anyway, he's worked with Kendrick, so I thought maybe there's this
Maybe.
weird connection that
Yeah,
it would
right.
connect somehow. But
Right.
anyway,
Hey y'all, it's Jason from Tubbs Coffee Roasters. We are North Idaho's specialty coffee roaster. We are homegrown and we are local. We love coffee and we love our community, especially Allie and Callie and Artcast. We have a retail space in our roastery in Hayden, and we can also be found on the shelves at Super One and Yokes. And if you like to buy coffee online, we do offer subscriptions. You can find us at tubbscoffeeroasters.com. Support arts and culture and your local roaster. That's all.
so tell us about the Grammys.
I know. Speaking of Grammys,
I'm just like very curious. Like, was that your first time going?
Yeah, that was my first time going. It was actually really lucky that I got to go. I probably would have been able to go anyways, if it wasn't for the rule change. But so basically, this past year they updated the rules for nominations, and if you so the rule used to be, and they have specific rules for every single category. Like
Mhm.
there's
Yeah.
rules as to who gets nominated, who gets a trophy, who gets a plaque, all that stuff, and they're very specific. And I was reading a lot about them when all the nominations came out. This is the first year that any project that was nominated for Album of the Year, any producer, engineer, artist, or songwriter that was on the project got nominated. It used to be, and still is, like best rap album, best pop album, those categories, you have to be credited as an engineer, producer, songwriter, or artist on 33% of the record to be considered for a nomination. But
Okay.
this was the first year they made it just for Album of the Year that anyone who was connected to the record got nominated. So
Wow.
that was like, it was pretty lucky. And I was helping out with this project starting like 5 years ago. And if COVID hadn't have happened, the album would have come out 2 years before it did, and I wouldn't have gotten a nomination because they wouldn't have changed the rule yet. So yeah,
one good thing came out of COVID.
yeah, yeah. But
So
yeah,
where were you when you found out that you got nominated?
I was just at home. I mean, it was special, but it wasn't like I knew like Kendrick gets nominated like every year for at least best rap album. So I knew that was coming. The last 3 albums he's put out have been nominated for best rap album and best album of the year. So I wasn't surprised, but it was cool to be able to say that I was nominated for that. And yeah, it was a long process for reading all the rules and all of the stipulations that you need to
Who knew they would have all
satisfy.
these rules?
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Wow.
And then, yeah, at the end of the day, it's just a bunch of old dudes in a room voting for which one should win and which
Yeah.
one shouldn't, and
Um,
which album they need to have in the category, or which albums they need nominated to, have a good spread of artists and not just seem like they're playing favorites.
Right.
And what was the exact award?
Album of the year, Harry Styles won that, which makes sense. He's definitely more worldwide. I mean, Kendrick's worldwide, but he definitely reaches, Harry Styles for sure reaches more ears than
Yeah.
Kendrick. At least comparing Harry Styles' most recent work to Kendrick's most recent work. Yeah, as soon as I heard Harry Styles was in there, I was like, oh yeah, he's gonna win it.
Right.
But I mean, at least Kendrick did win for best rap album.
Mhm.
So I at least got a Grammy award for that one.
But if he had won best album of the year, you would have actually gotten a trophy.
Yeah, I would have actually gotten a statue, which would have been cool. I at least get a plaque, so I can at least say on my resume that I'm a Grammy Award winner.
Oh yeah, just so you know, I'm listing you in our credits as Grammy Award winning audio engineer producer.
Yeah. Not many people can say that.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, and even going was such a cool experience.
Yeah,
And
what were your favorite parts about being there?
I definitely the red carpet was the best part. Yeah, because the event was cool, but it's definitely like when you watch it on TV, it seems like so glamorous and like obviously like they're only showing like the best bits and the best views of everything. And when you're there, it's kind of like, okay, yeah, this is a cool show and like it's cool to see all the performers and stuff, but it definitely does drag on a little bit.
Yeah, I'm sure.
The red carpet was really cool, getting to just walk down and just because like working at Interscope, being at the studio, you see so many people come through, and it's part of your job to just be like, okay, this is just the normal day to day for us. We're, kind of numb to like having famous people come through because you can't be like fanboying over an artist who comes in. Like that's not what they want to feel like. We're just there working and
Going to work.
doing our job.
Going to work.
But actually being in an event where it's like all the famous industry people get to come out and like it's like a night for them. It felt really cool to like be a part of it and get to like experience it on the same level as those people. And then obviously the Taylor Swift picture.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. We were in line because they had just like a line for people who wanted to. At the end of the red carpet, there's the press section where you walk through and 50 photographers are just like taking your picture and you're just walking down the line and getting your picture taken. And me, my girlfriend Kate, and my friend Troy, who was also nominated on the project for playing drums, he was right in front of us, and forgot who was right in front of him. It wasn't Chris Stapleton. It was some country artist was standing right in front of him, and he went, and then our friend Troy went down the press section, and they're like, oh, hold on 1 second, stop. We just got to hold you for 1 second. And they let Taylor Swift in right in front of us. They're like, we're sorry about this one. I'm like, no, this is totally fine. And we're like, please don't worry about us. And she's very tall and very pretty. And it was crazy seeing her like that close up.
That was really fun because we were up watching all of us were watching the Grammys, and we're watching the red carpet action, and we're looking for Andrew. And I remember seeing Taylor Swift get up there, but I didn't see Andrew on TV. And so I sent him a text and I said, have a good time. I hope this is a great night for you. And I get this text back with a picture of him right behind Taylor Swift. That's
awesome. Yeah, that is so great.
Yeah, and it was cool because my girlfriend Kate, she I tell her all the time about like stuff that happens at the studio, and it was cool for her to be able to be there and kind of experience it a little bit too. And it was funny because like I don't listen to that much country music or know much about like any of the country artists other than the ones who are like on the top of the charts. But we were there and she was just like, oh my God, that's Luke Combs, or that's this Kelsey Ballerini, and like I'm like, I don't know who those people are. I mean, I know who they are, but I was like, oh, I'm surprised you.
Yeah, right.
Like most country artists just look like very normal people, and they're not extra at all.
Right.
So it was cool because she was like, she's like, okay, I gotta keep it calm.
That's cute.
That is funny.
That's sweet. Super sweet.
Funny story. The closest I've ever gotten to an awards ceremony is when I was living in Los Angeles. I got asked to be one of those seat fillers.
Oh,
They were like, yeah, come to I think it was the Oscars actually. They were like, you just show up, dress nice, whatever. We just put you in a seat. You stand over here, and then when somebody gets up to go to the bathroom, you fill a seat.
That's
Hilarious. That there's empty seats.
Yeah.
Right.
I didn't get to do it.
Oh, bummer.
That'll be fun.
It would
That
be
would be
fun.
fun.
I'd
Just
love
sit, yeah, you just get to sit next to like Robert Downey Jr. because his wife's going to the bathroom or something.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I would totally do that.
I would
And
too.
I think I would have gotten paid too, if I remember correctly.
Oh, that's
That's
awesome.
funny.
I can't remember.
Fun.
Well, I know you write songs and have recorded an album. Are you working on anything?
Not really. I mean, I still like make music and just work on songs or beats just to have in my back pocket in case anyone's ever just like, oh, do you have any music for
Mhm.
me
Yeah.
or something? And also just do it just to keep like the creative gears turning in my head. But these days, I'm definitely more focused on mixing and trying to just get better at that. And then, yeah, kind of whenever I get downtime, I can kind of just work on music and just experiment with sounds and stuff like that. Do a lot of like weird sound making stuff. And
Right.
I like a lot of little like musical toys.
So what is that gadget? It's just a noisemaker. You can
It's
just
just a noisemaker, but you can run audio in and out of it too, and make really weird sounds with it. And so I'm a big fan of weird sounds.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well, you know what's funny is the song Back to Hell and Back.
Mhm.
I bought when your album came out, I was one of the first ones to buy it. And when I heard the song Hell and Back, it was before I knew you had any involvement in it at all. And it's so funny because I listened to that and it sounds like your voice. It sounds like every time I hear that song, I always think of
he's
you.
singing?
And then one day I'm driving around with my son Connor, and Connor says, "Yeah, did you know Andrew worked on this song? He's playing bass in the background." And I'm like, "Did he sing it too?"
Yeah. That's funny.
I'm not British, so maybe if I was British, I would sound exactly like that, hopefully.
Oh,
I really like his voice, Bakar's voice. He's got
Yeah.
a really cool voice.
it is.
Oh,
It's a cool
from
song.
the Cars, right? The Car movie, right?
No, it's
Which
from the
one?
Pixar movie.
It's called Elemental.
Elemental.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. Mhm.
All right.
Yeah,
I'll look for it.
right. So are you still playing in a band?
No, not really. I mean, technically Beach Noise is a band, even though they don't have any Beach Noise music out. There's definitely Beach Noise songs floating around the studio here, but so far there hasn't been any live Beach Noise performances or music released. But we did a few years ago, actually around the time when Hell and Back was written and recorded, we were at a studio called Shangri-La. It's Rick Rubin's studio in Malibu, and we set up some microphones outside. It's right on the beach in Malibu, and we just captured like 6 hours of, we called it Shangri-La ambiance, and that's you can find that on streaming platforms.
I
And
love it.
Shangri-La ambiance. I'm gonna write
Yeah,
that down.
we need a little of that.
Right.
it's just 6 hours of
Waves and beach.
beach noise
I
and
love it.
wind, and
I bet I could sleep to that.
I bet you could.
Yeah.
Turn that on at 2 a.m.
There you
Yeah.
go.
yeah, and then every now and then, if you listen through it all, you'll hear like us like walk around the microphones and like have conversations, and just like it's just Shangri-La ambiance.
Mhm.
And
I love that.
we're working on the next one at their house in Playa del Rey. We're gonna call it Playa del Ambiance.
Oh,
I love it.
We gotta find the next place that fits into that wordplay.
right.
Yeah, that's funny.
Oh, funny.
That's great.
So what do you have coming up, and what are your long-term plans?
Well, coming up, I've just been mostly doing mixes for TDE artists. There's this one artist called her name's Dochi.
Yeah.
She's kind of up and coming right now, and
I've actually heard of her.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
nice. She's
I don't get out much.
Yeah.
Or you might be thinking of Doja Cat.
Oh,
Doja Cat. Yeah,
oh,
probably.
that's probably
That's
it.
who. That's.
I was like, how do I know that?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
so weird.
yeah.
I'm
She's
almost 60. What?
yeah. I was gonna be really surprised if you had heard of
Oh.
her, but she's like, yeah, she's just starting out, and she's like a female rapper, but she's also a really amazing singer too. I've been mixing her songs, and the most recent song of hers that I mixed, I don't know what the official count is, but I know that it reached, I think it peaked at number 80 on the Hot 100,
Oh,
and it recently hit number one for US Rhythmic Radio.
I'm going to my Spotify right now.
oh,
No.
cool.
Yeah, and so she's definitely on her way up, and I
Mhm.
mixed the song that she's going to come out with next, and hopefully that one does as well or better than this song, because she could definitely become the next big TD, or she is on her way to be like the next big thing for TDE. So it's cool to be able to have a hand in mixing her music. And a lot of stuff nowadays is like back, 15 years ago when someone mixed a song, it was just kind of like everything's there, just make it all fit together and sound good. And nowadays, when you mix a song, people expect you to add elements that would be considered production. And that's kind of where the whole you need to be able to do everything comes in, because I'm like adding stuff that would be considered production just to make the mixes like sound better and feel better and fill everything out, because I'll get some songs and there's like nothing in them and nothing to them, and I have to like figure out a way to fill them out with like production elements and stuff like that. So it's fun for me, even though I'm not getting production credits. People nowadays hear mixes and or they'll hear production and be like, "Oh, this mix sounds so good," and when it was probably some like production elements that they think was part of the mix. So that's what has
Mm.
kind of been helping me these days get more mixing jobs, because I know production well, so I can add production elements that disguised as mixing elements.
Oh,
Oh wow.
Mhm.
oh, cool. So
Yeah.
you're getting your name out there.
Yeah, it's good to like just be be able to get projects that a lot of people will listen to, and hopefully look up the credits and be like, "Oh, who mixed this song? Oh, it sounds great." Like,
Right.
yeah, so
Hey,
it's
that's good.
It's definitely an art form.
Yeah.
Mhm.
yeah, yeah,
So is
my
that Doechii?
yeah, that's her.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, Doechii.
Right.
I just
So
looked
are your parents okay with you now not being at Virginia Tech?
Oh yeah, they're finally understanding and accepting it these days. It took years before they're like they just, I mean, they're still trying to figure it out, but they're kind of understanding these days that you can't really understand some things.
A career in music, that's hard.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's hard no matter what, but it looks like you're on your way. For
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm just hopeful to see what's next, because I know from the it's been a little over 7 years that I've been in LA, but it's always like, okay, I get somewhere that I wanted to be, and then it's like, okay, I'm here, I've got this part down. All right, what's coming next, and how can I hone in on what's next and really make that work? So
Mhm.
it's the music industry is good for people like me who I feel like I get bored with things really easily over the years. I've gotten into like so many random things and then just kind of like left them behind for something else. So I think the music industry is really good for that, because it leads to a lot of different avenues that a lot of people just never consider, like this would lead to this or this connects with this. And yeah, the entertainment industry, I guess, in general is just like that, I guess.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
Always changing, a lot of variety.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
Which
right.
is cool.
it's interesting because like you watch a movie, you listen to a song, you forget how much work goes into making, and how many people,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
you know, how many people are behind the scenes, and all of those behind the scenes people, they have jobs, and
Mhm.
it's, you know,
I'm really glad that the Grammys changed the rules and made it so you guys that are, you know, because these singers wouldn't be where they are without you guys.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's great that you're getting the credit that you deserve.
Yeah.
recognition. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a village.
It
Yeah.
takes, oh, you're Miss Philosophy over here.
It does. A village of musicians, technicians, engineers,
Yeah.
writers,
Yeah.
the singers like the.
Yeah.
No,
Anyway.
I'm just kidding.
Someone like Kendrick Lamar has so many people work on his album over the years, and so many people coming and going, and yeah, adding so much to it. It's definitely cool to be able to feel like I'm more of a part of that because of that.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
Well, remind us what the name of your album is.
My personal album,
Yeah, your personal album.
oh, it's called What the Future Holds. Yeah, and it was just kind of a compilation of songs I'd been working on for some had been a few years old and some were just a few weeks old. It was the first time I got COVID and I was quarantined in my room, and I was like going a little stir crazy because I lived in an apartment with two other guys, and my bedroom was very small, and so I was pretty much locked in there for 10 days, and I was just like, I got to do something, and so I just finished the album and released it, and yeah, it was good. It was a relief because living with music like that and just like wanting it to be out of my head was
Mhm.
was very appealing, and
Right.
just being able to move on from that was really nice, and it's fun to go back and listen to it because in the moment you listen to songs that you're working on, you're like always second guessing everything, but then when it's just out there and you can let it live, and then you come back to it and you're like, I don't know why I was freaking out. It's good, and like I like it, and
Right. Right.
We're our own worst critics.
That's
Yeah.
that's a fact.
yeah,
Well, Andrew, we sure appreciate you taking the time to chat with us.
yeah, absolutely. This is
It was-
awesome.
It's
know, it is
fascinating.
awesome.
I mean, it's a crazy business, and you're making a living out of it. So
Yeah.
good for you.
I
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
And you know we're really proud of you.
yeah. Thank you.
Says Aunt Allie.
Says Aunt.
Now you have two more ants.
Yeah, that's
That's
right.
There you go.
That's right.
We'll
Really?
claim you.
Yeah, we'll be seat fillers at the Grammy. We will.
That's right. And maybe we'll get you back up here to Coeur d'Alene soon.
Yeah,
Oh
Corda.
yeah, I would love that.
I was
More
gonna
fun.
say it's Corda. What is it called?
Coeur d'Ambiance.
Or the ambiance.
Yeah.
You need.
There's definitely there's something in there for sure.
That's
Something.
right.
I don't know.
something.
I want to come back up there and find more morel mushrooms. It was so
That's
Oh,
right.
that was yeah,
All righty. Well, thanks for visiting with us. And,
Yes.
absolutely. Thank you guys for having me. This was really
You bet. It was interesting.
It
And,
was.
and good luck to you. And we'll look for you at the next Grammys.
That's right.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'll look for myself too. I'll see.
We'll look behind Taylor and we'll find you.
That's
So
right.
there you
There you go.
Yeah, maybe she'll invite me as her guest next year.
That'd
there
be
you go.
nice. There you go.
Well, I'm Allie.
And I'm Callie. And whatever you do today, make sure it's creative.
The Allie and Callie Artcast is a program of the Coeur d'Alene Arts and Culture Alliance and is sponsored by NIA, North Idaho Alliance, a woman-based leadership organization designed to inspire, uplift, and impact your community and lives. And Tubbs Coffee Roasters, globally sourced, locally roasted coffee.